Hello everybody and welcome back to Aviassembly, which I had an absolute blast with last time, so we're absolutely going to do it more. And you lot seem to like it too. Had several requests dotted around that I do more of this, and I am more than happy to oblige. So for those of you who didn't see last week's stream, this is pretty much Kerbal Space Program but for planes. You slowly do little missions, you design your plane, you unlock parts and more resources to build better and better planes to go further and further, carry more junk. As for what we're actually doing on our little flights, we are pretty much a delivery service. We're in a part of the world that seems not to have invented roads just yet. Instead, they rely on air travel for all of their deliveries, including electricity delivery. We were delivering batteries around the last island to deliver power to places. So yeah, we pick up cargo, we move it to a place that needs the cargo, and then we get some cash and money back. Now, at the end of last time, what we ended up doing is rounding off the first island archipelago here, this nice little foresty one, completed all of the missions there, and at the end of last time we just made this trip over here to go to this new mountainous Arctic land. Some of it called it mountain, some of it called it ice, so I think it's just a mix of an icy mountain. And so yeah, today we're going to explore this new little place, see what is going on around here, and see what the new challenges are on this island. Where our plane ended up is this lovely little thing. I do quite like how it ended up looking in the end. I do like how the wing is. The fuel tanks are a bit ugly, but they are the ones that I've got for now. And this works pretty reasonably well for the missions in the last one. But I have a strong suspicion that here in this lovely snow biome, things are going to get a lot trickier, a lot quicker. Notably, the deliveries here are delivering things like ore and ice and stone, which sound significantly heavier than apples and lumber. So yeah, that'll all be fun. And yep, welcome to the stream, Falcata, and yeah, definitely the more questionable aircraft design will be happening here today. Okay, we've got the ice packing plant and we've got the mine. The mine is nearby. Let's go visit the mine, and that's the one that's going to prompt us to. So let's see if we can fly over to the mine. We need 2 ore. No idea how big and chunky ore is, we will just have to see. Alright, so on the bright side, I have now managed to fix the issue I was having last time, where the control was constantly clicking. I think that was one of my HOTAS controls that was interfering with things. Whoop. I need to get used to flying this thing again. Somewhere around here is where I want to go. There we go, 4,000 meters in that way. So right now we're unladen, so this is a quite easy flight. Things get a lot harder as soon as you start putting more and more stuff on your plane, and that is one awkward airfield to come into. I think to play it safe I'm going to do a little loop around. Seems to be the most sensible way to come in there. Ooh. Definitely went a bit too high there, but hey ho. Oh. Engines, engines, wheels. Oh. Okay, gonna take me a little bit to get used to the controls again. Right, on the bright side, dying isn't actually bad at all. You can just quite happily respawn. Right, so let's try that again without the horrible death crash. But there's probably a good way of indicating how this stream's probably going to go. Yeah, so the plot so far has been that there has been some kind of lovely, lovely earthquake. And they're saying now that it's not a natural earthquake, so we're mostly dealing with damage left over from the earthquake. Trying to figure out what happened, trying to get everything back in one piece, try and avoid the toilet, try and break. Food delivered from the farm and the fishing ports. Haven't received it in a while. Yeah, they're probably having trouble. And or, let's guess, Cthulhu monsters. Right, so we can refuel here. Refueling is free. Yep, Tom's a good time to join there, just as I'm ploughing into the ground after my safe approach. Okay, so ore has a volume of 50, a mass of 4. I need to take mass into account. I think on the demo these weren't separate things. I think they changed that mid-demo. So I've essentially been ignoring the mass on everything and just going by volume. And yeah, some things have huge volumes and low mass. Some things have high mass and small volumes. So I do need to keep an eye on this. So let's see how this aircraft does with taking off with 8 mass worth. Additional. That should be all we need for our delivery. So let's close that. I'm going to reset so that we're at the end of a runway. I need to fly that way. I am going to start by backing up a little bit. Because I am a little bit nervous about getting over that massive mountain that's at the end of the runway. Oh god. I have realised during the off time that there is a severe problem with this design, that I'm still using this tail dragger design, and that makes it really hard to pitch up on the runway. I need to get a lot of speed before I can start pitching up because it's hinging right at the back there. So hopefully I can design something a little bit better going forward, move the wings a little bit back and go to a tricycle design. Probably make it a little bit easier to get the nose off the ground. Anyway, as it is, resources are free, everything's free, death doesn't matter. It is just a case of trying when you fail, very KSP-like. I'm going to give myself a little bit more of a run-up here. Whoop. Well, that's as much a run-up as it's going to let me, so let's go with that. Right, turn that way, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch up, pitch. It didn't pitch up. It's okay, I've got an idea. I'm going to take off the other way. There is less of a mountain on the other side. I think this is highlighting that we definitely need a new aircraft design, which is fine. I'd just like to get a little bit more resources before we shelve this one. Yeah, I'm not convinced this is particularly much better, to be honest, but... And if this fails, I'll just take one stone and see how we do that. Yeah, because I'm not convinced this actually wants to pitch up at all. Right, okay, we are up. We are in the air with 2 landing gear. And that's fine. 2 is plenty. 2's an even number. Now all I have to do is land a wonky plane with not all of its landing gear. Might not actually be too bad. Because... whoop. Yeah, that central one is actually quite big and open. There we go, 180 coins. Yeah, definitely need more speed and power. This thing has a lot of fuel efficiency, but yeah, definitely need to strap on some more power at some point. But still, okay, they want... for some reason they want 2 fish. Oh, 315. I was reading that as 3 out of 5. Okay, 2 fish, 4 fruit. Fishing port is down there. They've not told us where... oh, wait, is the farm the old farm? Do I have to make it all the way across there in a time journey? That is going to be painful. Now though, I'm going to reset, head towards the ice packing plant, and see how horrific ice is. Right, which direction is that? It's left on takeoff. Yeah, air brakes is probably a good shout. I know they do exist in this. That seems like a good idea, something we can definitely invest some research points into. Oh god, it's drunk. Right, slow it down here. Try and work out, okay. Runway, yeah, okay. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Idler. Trees, 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 trees. Perfect. The earthquake damaged our ice packing plant. Can you help us get the materials for repairs? Possibly. You want 1 copper, 6 glass. Cool, I have no idea where any of that comes from. So, yeah. Oh, glass is up there. That's nice. Oh, that's the factory. So everything comes from there. Nice. Right, they want 5 ice. Oh no. It's labelled fragile. Why do I get the feeling that my landing style doesn't go well with fragile? Okay. So how many ice do we need? Need 5 ice. I can technically fit 3. I'm going to take 2 and see how we do that. Going to reset and repair. I want to take off the other way though. Because the other way was a lot nicer in terms of not being directed directly at a mountain. Which seems to be the thing on this continent. They just like building their airfields looking straight up mountains. Last time I was complaining about occasionally having a tree at the end of a runway. I'm going to put the marker down so I can find where I'm going. Take off, turn right. really like to get some more scrap and things for research purposes before heading back. But just, ooh, speaking of which, there is some bonus scrap. There we go, 5 new scrap. It's exactly what I was wanting to gather. That lets us unlock new parts, and new parts are helpful. Now I do wonder here, when I reset back to my home base, is that going to reset to this little area, or is it going to reset way back to where we started on the other island? So I was assuming it's going to reset way back to our original delivery, but we'll have to see. There we go. Load of coins. 3 more ice. Nice big chunk of cash. Okay, that's a journey I can make not too difficultly. I'm going to refuel, and we're going to try and repeat that, but with all 3. And yes, I'm absolutely going to ignore the runway here, because this looks a lot nicer to take off. Okay, that should all be fine. I come in, I get all 3, I take off on the easy side of the runway. That is going to be 9 mass, which is even heavier than I was with the ore. So I'll just need to be real careful on that landing and make sure I actually have my landing gear. There we go, see? Sometimes I'd vaguely do it correctly. Come on, turn around. Right, so refuel, load cargo, they wanted 3 ice. See if I can get this back. Oh, no. I may have pushed the wrong button and accidentally raised my landing gear, but apparently that's fine. This has strong landing gear. Right, okay, Flora, wish me luck. Come on, left. A little bit left. A little bit more left. Oh, there we go. There you go, got in the air fine. I just need to remember this is fragile when it comes to actually landing the bloody thing. So I'm not meant to just smash it into the ground. I got another 5 scrap. Right. Okay. Gear come down. Ignore runways. Shite! Broke the ice. Broke 1 ice. Okay. Okay, they only need 1 more ice. I can get that. I also want to head to where that snow marker is, just in case that is changing where our home base is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly to the snow marker, then I'll go fly, pick up more ice. We should have the fuel range to be able to do that. This thing has travelled further in the past. So just because if I can avoid having to fly all the way back from the grassland, I think that would be a good thing. Yeah, this looks like our home base in the other one, so I think I may be correct there. Ooh, there's more scrap there as well. Right. There we go. Yeah, here we are. So this is our base here. So what I'm going to do in that case, I'm just going to reset and repair at this airport. There was scrap right off the end. I'm going to pick that up, get this last ice, do that last delivery, and then we'll come back here and see what upgrades we can get, because we should have quite a bit. Got a little bit of scrap. Would like some more scrap to get some more upgrades. There were air brakes somewhere. There's an air brake parachute, so that'll do. So, yeah, right. Let's get that scrap that I saw. Make our way over to the ice. That sounds like a good plan. Scrap was over here. Oh, there it is. Oh god. There we go. So that's us up to 15 scrap. I can now fly over here, grab the last of the ice, and then we can see what we can do about this design. We've got a lot of cash now. These missions do seem to be paying pretty well. There we go. Now it seems like when you overstress, it doesn't break all the ice, it just breaks some of it. So I'm going to take 2 ice, just in case I break some. Take off over here, this is a nice easy take off run. Oh, you go, gears come up. There we go. Turning's not bad as long as I remember the rudder. No. Right. Go. Idler. There we go. Much better. See, I know how to fly. Bunch of ice. Bunch of money. And yeah, let's head back to base and upgrade the plane, see what we can do with various parts here. Okay, so I can get small jet engine, which... yeah, I don't know about that, because our turboprop is really nice. The jet engine does give us a little bit more... oh, I see. The jet engine gives us about the same thrust, but has a much lower mass. But is more fuel consuming, so that is something we might want to keep an eye on. Glider wings, straight wings, tail wings. Got a big external fuel tank. a light wheel, dedicated rear wheel. Yeah, got balloons. Do have batteries, but we don't have any electrical engines right now. Yeah, so that's the electric engine. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up the air brake. And I might just hang on to the rest for now. Maybe in the future push towards the jet engine line or the electrical engine line, depends on if we want to go lots of fuel or lots of earth thrust. Anyway, that'll do for now. The jet engine is needed to progress in this area. Okay, I will save up then to grab the jet engine. Oh, we do have some more money, so what do we need on our lovely plane here? Well, we've got our little parachute. I can whack that on nice and easy. Is that going to create drag issue? No, it's not. It doesn't look ideal, but there we go. That'll allow us to stop on a short runway. I don't know if it'll let us take off on a short runway, but stopping on a short runway is something. Is there... Yeah, 650 for another turboprop engine. Thinking we might just need to do a little bit more jobs, get some more resources to really be able to upgrade this. Because right now I don't think we're limited on the parts as much as we're limited on the funds. Engines are becoming really expensive. I mean, I could whack like a regular wood engine on, give us a little bit more thrust. I could give one of these engines. Don't know where it would go is the problem. Yeah, maybe save off some more and see if we can go to a 4-engine design, or save up enough that we can get a fancy jet engine. Either way, for now we've got this air brake, which should be nice and useful. I'm assuming it doesn't start deployed. Right, so job-wise, that was deliver 1 stone. I believe that stone needed 300 storage, which we can't fit on this thing. So looking around at what else we could do, they want 2 fish. Fish is over there nearby, so I'm going to go fly over there, pick up the fish. I get the feeling fish is probably going to be a timed quantity, so this may not work. Also, I don't know what the button is for air brakes. We'll figure that out en route. Yeah, probably need to redesign the rear a little bit, because that looks a bit silly. I can make it a little bit more flush, instead of going back to a point there. Oh, that's handy. So it's just something that I can activate with the brake key. That is really nice. I thought it'd be like a one-shot, you deploy it and that's that. No, it's just really helping with deceleration. Yeah, that's amazing, actually. Okay, I'm not actually at the airfield yet. They sure were destroyed. I don't know what your fishing ships were in, but it's not supposed to be there. Help us get materials to rebuild them. So he's going to have asked me for, yeah, glass and steel, which is from the factory. So, 2 fish. Is fish going to be... Yeah, fish is a timed quantity. Great. Alright, I'm going to get myself in a position ready to take off then. Since we're going to try and make it over there, so... Don't know if I'll be able to make this, but if nothing else, this will get us towards where we need to be. Actually looking at this, let's taxi down to the far end, do a little loop, and then we can take off in the reverse direction. I think that's closer to where we need to be anyway. Oh, we've unlocked the mission if nothing else. So we know what this place needs. Right. Oh, I'm too far away. There we go. Refuel, load cargo, 2 fish, let's go. I'm doing this slightly wrong, but hey ho. I don't think we're anywhere near fast enough for this. Okay, so I can't do the timed missions just yet. Need something a lot faster. So I'm still 5 kilometers away and it's nearly gone. That's fine. So definitely jet engine, something to aim for. In the meantime, let's see what these resources over here are like. Quake, decay, labs, critical, unstable. Oh, something people have been doing. Silliness again. Yeah. Continue. So airfields go. This isn't a bad one, at least. Earthquake disrupted our deliveries. Sure can potentially deliver materials. What do you need? Okay, ore and ice. That's nice and straightforward. Especially because the ice packing plant wants copper and glass. What was it? 1 copper, 10 glass. Okay. The 1 copper, very heavy, but probably should be able to make that. Pick up some ice at the ice packing plant. Gears coming up. There we go. In the air again. It's copper I'm carrying, so it's not fragile, so it doesn't matter if I smash it down into the ground aggressively. That that airfield had an SOS sign written on it, so I think we're going to visit them on the way back. Oh. Oh. Everything's fine. That's how you land planes. You just bounce them off of the hill on the way in. It's perfectly fine. Thank you for the copper. There we go. Nice chunk of money. Refuel. Gonna go down this end and work out how much ice that other place needed. Yeah, man. Yeah, you needed 2 ice. Okay. We can do 2 ice. I'm even going to put in 3 ice because I'm probably going to break one, especially if I'm stopping off at that other place en route. So the other place should be just off the end of this runway. So if I take off, go straight, there's a airfield with a big SOS sign. I think that was it. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Oh, let's see what they need. Landed without breaking the ice, so I'll call that. Someone found us. Stranded here. If you bring us some food, maybe. If you want fish and crabs, it's going to be a pain in the ass to deliver, but fine. Right, reset and repair at this airbase. Refuel, so we are taking off, turning right. Go. And we come in. Here we go. Perfect landing, everything's fine. 180 coins for that. Right, so clear inventory. So they wanted 10 glass. So 10 glass would be 15 weight, which is heavier than anything that I've tried before, but let's give it a go. Can fit it. Right, if I reset, which way will it point me? Okay, a little bit more in the correct direction. Actually, this looks possible. If I go right here, there's a nice little low patch there. Because the awkward thing is always just taking off. Not actually, once you're in the air, you're normally fine. There we go. Okay. Wheels coming up. Yeah, definitely feels heavy. it definitely feels like it does not want to be flying right now, but it currently is flying, so there we go. Go over the SOS airfield again. You deal with you people starving soon. We're delivering glass to an ice factory in the middle of the Arctic. Throttle down a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to need a lot of speed to get enough lift to actually go up here. A little bit more fuel down, gears coming down. Right, now full brake. 2 glass brake, damn it. A bit of a rough landing. Oh, 200 coins for the effort. Don't think anyone else wanted ice right now. Yeah, I've already given ice to them. That's not the proper place. So that's fine. In which case we fly back. Refuel. I'll just fly low on this one, see if I can find any more scrap on the way. I may have seen some scrap in the corner of my eye somewhere around here, so I will have a look-see. May of course just be hallucinating things. I thought it was somewhere around here, not seeing it. Gear come down, plane goes slow. There we go. We just reset and repair. Load some cargo. So we needed 2 more glass. I'm going to take 4 because I'm probably going to break some. Should be a much more straightforward route back though than last time, because I can actually get up to altitude here. Do want to err on the right hand side here just to make sure that I coming in vaguely along the runway. Again, slowing down now. Slowing down a lot more. Right, gears come down. Slow, slow, gently, gently. No glass broken, nice. There we go. Bunch of coins. 30 scrap for the effort, perfect. That's what I wanted. Use even more materials for repairs, of course you could. What do you need? Steel, copper, and tools. Okay, so tools have to come from way over here. Okay, so we've got Intercontinental trips we're going to have to make, but for now I'm going to pop back to the base because with that scrap should be able to unlock some nice stuff. So I want to pick up these jet engines. We need the more thrust. Okay, not got enough scrap to upgrade from a small jet engine to a big one. Would really like to. That is a massive upgrade there. I just kind of also want to get more wings. Yeah, I'll go for the wings because I feel this plane isn't generating enough lift right now. It feels real heavy. So yeah, I'm going to go for the wing upgrade as well. Then I think our next upgrade we're going to save up for. It's probably going to be the bigger jet engine. Larger cockpit also wouldn't be bad, but let's see what we can do with this lot. So, same basic design, but I want to put on the new wing. So as opposed to the wing, get the new wing. It's a little bit more lift, a little bit less drag, which is nice. A little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, a little bit more fuel. So yeah, it's a bit of a better wing. Plane. Right, center of gravity. Yeah, and I'm going to see about changing over my landing gear position as well. See if I can make this a little bit more of a tricycle landing gear as opposed to a tail dragger. First, let's see how many of these engines I can actually put on. Okay. Not too bad. They cost a lot more. 10,000. Sorry, 10,000. I can't read. 1,000. Yeah, I was also thinking that the faster we're going, I know that wing stress is a thing in this, because when I tested in Sandbox ahead of last week's stream just to make sure controls were working, and yeah, built a plane that just ripped its wings off, which is fun. Eee. They're so dinky. But I kind of want them here so I can strap the landing gear to them. So they're going to look a little bit silly, but... Right, retractable wheel there. I mean, I guess I could... The retractable wheels are actually quite big. That still gives me enough clearance. So I can do this a little bit better, make it a little bit more of a Learjet type design. And yeah, so our weird drunk landing gear there, that moves on to the front. Currently this is going to topple over. There we go. And I did want to mess with this part. So I want to make that so that matches the width of the air brake a little bit better, so it looks less silly. And I also want to use this, if I can. There you go, that looks a little bit more sensible. Nice little straight top to it. And we'll also have the added benefit of, now that I no longer have a dragging gear, that will make it a little bit less likely that I tail strike. So still got 600. I might just extend this section a wee bit. I want to see if I can get up to, yeah, 150. So I believe some of the things were 150. Right. Wings come forward a wee bit. Go back a wee bit. There we go. I think I just put them back to where they were to begin with, but hey ho. Okay. I suppose in terms of what we spend the rest of the money on, we've got a more fuel draining engine, and I do have money for more fuel, so can whack on a couple more tanks. No, not like that. I've got enough for another one. There we go. Okay, so we've got more thrust. We're a lot heavier. Probably this is going to be a bit more of an intermediate design until we get more cash for either more engine or more scrap for better engine. There though, the weird drunken Learjet seems fine. I am going to paint it. And I guess the engine's going to be black. There we go. Oh, can I paint the tanks? Yes, kind of. No, that looks awful. That's a bit better. Can't paint the wheels. Okay, so drag, yeah, the normal issues with that. Fuel tank, need a less draggy fuel tank. Otherwise, it's just the engine that is dragging. It's fine. It's in case of a belly landing haze that I've got nice soft fuel to land on. It'll like break my slow my descent. It's like, you know, on motorways you've got the tanks of water to slow you nice and carefully. It's the same thing, but just with petrol. It's fine. Right. Okay. Well, we're in the jet age now. They want glass and steel. They want fish. I'm ignoring the fish. They want stone. I can't do stone yet. They want fish, steel, copper, tools. Okay. I guess we can do a steel delivery over here. It's probably the easiest thing to start with. Oh, that sounds quite nice. Whoa, that comes off the ground a lot easier. Oh, we zoom in. Zoom in real fast now. Have I landed there? Where is that? Oh, that's the mining base. Okay, yeah, I have landed that. Okay, this is definitely faster. Oh, shite. Slow down. Okay. We can now move fast enough that we are damaging the tail. So I need to look into that. Right, so refuel. What cargo does this place need? Steel and copper. Okay. So the steel is going to be lighter than 2 copper, so I'm going to take 1 steel, see if this thing can get off the ground. Deliver steel from a 30mm cannon. Yep. Oh, okay. Also, the landing gear is not happy with the amount of weight that I currently have, used when reversing. Let's see if we can take off forward. Maybe. Okay, it definitely rotates a lot easier than before with the landing gear arrangement, so that is a win. Oh my god, I'm carrying steel, so I don't have to worry too much about being gentle. Steel should be nice and strong for landing, I would hope. More thrust. Yeah, less thrust. Yeah, I know the load's too heavy. There we go, steel. 300 cash. Bing. Right. So I want to actually... I've not flown over that area, so I'm going to try and fly over that area on the way there. Right, fingers crossed. If I don't burn out. So that was pretty good. Definitely feel the bigger thrust here. So I think I want to be flying over this way to look at the new area. Yeah. Just keep an eye out for scrap and things. Oh. It is a lot faster, I'll give it that. Oh, there's scrap. Hey. Well, you don't get much scrap from those, but it does add up quite quickly. Right, landing gear. And nice, gentle landing. Everything's fine. So suppose the next kind of intermediate target that I have is if we get 1,000 gold, I can stick a 3rd engine on. Which won't look too daft with the little Learjet engines that we have. Right, what did he want? He wanted two copper. Okay. Oh, I can't fit 2 copper. I can only fit 1 copper. That's fine. That's fine. We can make do with that. Yeah, okay. 1 copper, nice, easy little trip then. Is there anywhere else I want to explore on the way? I guess I can go a little bit north on the way, since it's going to be a nice, easy trip. I may as well do a little bit of exploring. I absolutely did not push the wrong button there. Everything's fine. I know how to play. Not too much here near the SOS airfield, but nothing else. It fills out the map and it makes the completionist inside me feel a little bit happy. Core breach, dangerous levels, evacuate. Oh good! Core breach sounds like a positive thing. Are we going to end up being Chernobyl? Yep, one more copper. I can do that. Right, that goes away. Fly over there then. Let's see what's over there on the way. Whee! Plane goes in now. I guess we try and make that really long tools trip. So if I go high altitude, I should be able to do it without too much of an issue. Okay, refuel, load cargo, one more copper. Here, come up and bring it this way. It's slowly filling out the map. Put the engines in a bit more of a conservative mode when going over to the tool section. I should be able to make it, I would hope. Right. Plane wheels come down. Oh, oh. There we go. Full reverse. There we go. That is the copper. Another 200. Oh. Okay, that is us at the mark I wanted to get to. We do have a ground. We can put another engine on. But I'm kind of thinking that it's going to be a little bit better not to put the third engine on if all I'm wanting to do is a long distance trip. So instead what I'm going to do, I am going to go back to base, because that's closer to the tools. How many tools did I need? I need 5 tools. I've got no idea how much tools are, so let's see. Would be nice if I can get all 5. If nothing else, looking at this, I can easily go from the lumber camp to this runway, and then from this runway over there, so I can just do it in 2 legs if I have to. Might not even have to. Just a little bit more fuel conservative. We've got a lot of range here. Yeah, because this isn't even going to use half of the fuel. Alright, and just slowly come round. There we go. Nice little landing strip. And we're back here in the foresty biome for a bit. And we say, hey guys, how'd you like my new jet engine? Alright. Let's go to this end of the runway, is going to be easier to take off. Round and round and round and round we go. Right. Okay, enough faffing around there. So 5 tools. We can fit them. It's not actually that heavy. This should be no problem at all. I'm going to see if I can make it all in one leg. I don't know what a good cruising altitude is. Let's say 2,000. That's a nice number to get to, if nothing else. Yeah, I don't particularly want to be higher than 2,000 because it's not loading in the ground. I think we're going to have to start our descent here. Oh. Yeah, we also need to get the upgrade for the tail fins because the current ones do not like speed. A little bit of hard landing, but hey ho. There's the tools. Money! That's supplies. 35 scrap. Nice. I have no idea if lower fuel consumption at high altitude is modelled. I think you might get less drag at high altitude. You definitely seem to go a longer distance when you go to high altitude with the kind of testing that I've been doing so far. So it seems so, but I can't confirm one way or the other. Okay, this place is done. I am going to pop back with our new research, our new cache. We should be able to get something nice and upgradey here. Alright, so I can get a jet engine. Proper jet engine. So, same fuel consumption for twice the weight, almost twice the thrust. I think that's definitely worth it. And I can in fact get that. And I can get the tail wing here. Which, yeah, is significantly stronger. 3 strength to 15 strength. There we go. So that's a lot of our scrap. But I think all of that is looking pretty good. So let's jump over onto the plane. Right. Let's look at the price of these new engines. £3 each. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Yeah, £3 each. We're gonna need a lot more money. Yeah. I could try like a single central line one. But I'm thinking for now we go for 3 small jet engines. And we save up to get the extra money we need to get 2 big jet engines. No. Aligned, there we go. And then with... yeah, this is our new tailwind. And then one more on top. Perfect. Plane. I quite like the drunken thing. There we go. And then to use this lovely newfound thrust, I'm going to give us a... oh, definitely not that. I'm going to give us some more cargo capacity here. Right. Yeah, this is slightly shrunken. I didn't want it to be slightly shrunken. There we go. We can push that up to 200, can't we? Come on. There we go. 200. Gonna need to rebalance this. Not too much, actually. Moving with fuel because it stretched it out a little bit. There we go, and hi Reapers, welcome to the lovely video where we have a plane of sorts. I think that'll do nicely. Right, now the question is what mission do we want to try and do? Okay, the factory needs ore, that's not too bad. They need stone, which I think needs 300. Right, I'll grab the ore for the factory. That should be a nice easy one. Let's see what kind of speed we can get to. Oh, it definitely has thrust. hopefully it'll have enough thrust for this low, short takeoff runway that we're at. So what do I need? I need 2 ore. Which I can easily fit. Yeah, stone is 300 is something we're going to have to aim for. 300 volume is a little bit awkward. Right, so refuel. There we go, no problem, off the ground. Even with the added fuel consumption of 3 engines, this thing seems decent enough. Long distances, or medium distances. Right, and brake. Bit of a bounce. There's the ore. 185 gold isn't bad. Supplies, 15 scraps. Okay. Not huge about, but not too bad. More materials. What do they need? More ore, more ice. Well, that should be fine. We can just turn around, get more ore. Nowhere needed anything from this place, did it? Oh, they needed glass and steel. So I should be able to do that. 10 glass, 1 steel. So I can't do both. Let's take the steel. Take a couple spare bits of glass because I'm going to break some anyway. And then I fly down there. Fine, let's do that the other way around. Clear inventory. Let's take a load of glass. And then we'll know how much we break, so we know how much to fit on the steel load as well. Right. So... oh... break. Refueling is really important. Also, not breaking your landing gear, it's really important. Right, still got the cargo, got the fuel, let's go. Here we go, flying all nicely on the way. Let's reduce our engine output a little bit. Probably should have brought up my landing gear before now. And what we can do is grab fish here and see if with our new speedy plane we can make some of those timed deliveries. Fuel is not looking great, but I can see the runway, so it should be fine. Gear come down. 3 glass broke, but I think that's actually fine. I think that's exactly as much as we needed. Yeah, that's all the glass they needed, so they just need 1 more steel. Right, so they needed fish and fruit. Reset. Hopefully this points me north. Yeah, it does point me north. There, refuel. 2 fish. Right, I can do this. Did not need to take a 3rd fish. Yeah, it's definitely better than it was in the previous attempt. It's now just whether or not I can land it in time. Oh, that's going to be close. Come on. Yeah! Just in the dying seconds there. Coins. There we go. Phew, managed it. They also want fruit. That is actually going to be a little bit easier, I think. For now I'm going to grab ore here because these chaps needed ore. 3 ore, yeah? 3 ore. It's heavy, but hopefully this current build will be able to do this. I actually want to be at the other end of the runway. Yes, I am struggling taxing. I definitely do not have the muscle memory. It's not working on this. There we go. Wheels are also on the list of things that we need to upgrade. Go. Nice little trip over. Deploy the landing gear. Nice little landing. Nice chunk of coins. Getting towards our goal of being able to afford big jet engines. Now, those guys wanted steel. So I can do that now. Steel should be no problem to take. As long as I remember to refuel. Refueling is always important. Come on, plane. Up we go. And over this way. There's no rush on this one, so it's going to come in nice and easy. Clear the trees. And then we can settle down. There we go, there's steel. Nice big chunk of money. $40 scrap, that's nice. Can get some serious upgrades with that. And they want some more materials, that's fine. What do they need? Oh, lumber from the other place, copper and steel. Okay. I am going to try to do the fish and crab delivery mission. This may not work. Right. I'm pointing north. Refuel. That's what they need. 2 fish, 3 crab. One, two, 3, full thrust. Probably should have enabled the mission so I know where I'm going. It's going to be tight. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it. Not quite. Nah, fish expired. Oh, I gave it a go. Okay, what else needs to happen here before I get a faster plane? So I should be able to do the ice without too much problem, and that rounds off that mission. So yeah, let's grab the ice. So our plane isn't quite fast enough. I'm sure we'll get there. Can possibly do the fruit mission with this plane as it stands. Because fruit does last a lot longer. Down we go. Alright, let's just turn around. Yeah, I'm not surprised wheel load's a bit too heavy there. Right, what did they need? They need it for ice. 1, 2, 3, 4. That shouldn't be a problem. Refuel. Now, ice is delicate, so I do need to not smash this thing down. Probably should have taken spare ice thinking about it, but well, we are where we are. Yep, definitely should have taken more spare ice. That was a hard landing. Whoopsie. Right, what other missions? Does anything need steel? Yeah, that needed lumber, copper and steel. So 2 copper, 2 steel. So I can't do the 2 steel in one run, I can do 2 copper in one run. Or I could do one of each. And then do 2 runs that way. But, other than the fact my landing gear can't take it. Yep, that's good to know. Okay, so landing gear replacement is a fairly high priority. I'll just take the 2 copper. I can do that. That'll get me that, give me 500. Keeping an eye on the amount of money we've got. Saving up that magic £3,000 number and we can get the new engines. That seems to be doing alright so far. This is a decent little runabout plane. Oh no, it is that. There we go, and we've got there. Here's a bunch of coins. Fuel. So what, they want 4 lumber. That gives a nice amount of money. I can pick up the lumber. Who needed the apples? They wanted apples. Right, okay. So what, I'll go for the apples first. Let's see if I can do a timed one. So I'm going to reset to base because it's a little bit closer. I'm going to have a shot at delivering the 4 fruit in time. Definitely going to be a bit of a push, but we will just see. The lumber shouldn't be a problem. But the fruit is timed. It is a little bit of an easier timer than the fish has. May need to end up designing like 2 planes to do a lot of the timed ones if they're going to continue to get trickier and trickier. Basically have a light, fast plane for those. Right, here we go. Right, let's turn around. Yeah, so I'll try this. If this goes horribly wrong, which it may well do, then I'll just do the lumber mission. Right. They needed 4 fruit. Right, 70 seconds on the timer. Oh, okay. No. I was trying to be sneaky and get up to speed beforehand. Right, okay, so let's just do this properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and floor it. Gear up, semi-seconds. Probably closer to 60 now. Let's go. Oh, fingers crossed. It's looking good. Yeah, this will be fine. Oh, no. It would be fine if I didn't push the wrong button. Oh, now we're in a wee bit of trouble. Gear. Okay. It would have been fine if I didn't press lower landing gear instead of slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and floor it. Alright, there we go. I can do this. As long as I remember which keys do what. Coming up to it. Slow down. Drop the landing gear. Speed up a little bit so I got a little bit of thrust. And there we go. Got it. Nice. 340. Not too bad. Getting there, almost there at the magic 3 grand number. 15 scrap. Mines up. Unstable. They need wood. Okay. So that's 2 things that need lumber from the lumber camp. So they need 3 lumber and 2 logs, and the other place needed 4 lumber. Yeah, let's do that. That'll give us enough money to be able to upgrade this thing to a twin proper jet and see what that does to the speed. Right now unladen 260, 280-ish. And brake. There we go. This one's actually serving a lot better than I thought it would. I thought this would be very much a stopgap one, but we're managing to do quite a lot just with this one. Alright, so refuel, let's see. So, it was 2 wooden logs. And then what was it? 4 lumber for one? Yeah, 3 lumber for them, 4 lumber for them. So I can do 4 lumber. So I guess I'll do that one then. Go to there for the 4 lumber mission. Can't quite get all of the stuff that we needed, but I was kind of hoping to do it all in one trip, but definitely going to need multiple trips, which is all fine. Gonna try and get these 4 London delivered in one journey though, so gonna try and go a little bit high here. Level us off there. To begin my descent anyway, so let's conserve fuel as much as I can. I'm very much aware that I'm running out of fuel. It's making me a little bit unhappy, to be honest, because I was really hoping I could make this all in one trip without stopping on the way for more fuel, and that might be pushing it. I'm going to have to come in with an awkward direct landing here, but yeah, I do have enough fuel. Just about. Alright, landing gear down. Brake, 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 brake. There we go. There's a bunch of money. That puts us beyond the 3 grand that we needed. So I'm going to go and re-engineer this plane then. First of all, research. We have quite a lot. So we've got the jet engine. We've got a different jet engine. Okay, wow, 10 fuel consumption, so twice the fuel consumption. Might be a bit too much at this point. Is a new cockpit type that we could grab. There is a bigger external fuel tank, which I would quite like. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's twice the weight, but for 4 times the fuel. That's worth it. Also needed better better landing gear. Okay, we've got enough for the bigger battery. Better landing gear. And I'm going to want it sooner or later, so I'm going to pick up the big cockpit. Don't know if we're going to put it on the plane at this stage. I'm going to save this one as the Learjetish. Alright, and then we'll just see how this is. So in terms of what I have here, this is 34 ton, 8 fuel, 200 cargo capacity. So I'm going to chuck this together. That's a rough idea. It's going to be pretty much the same general fuselage design. What do I want? I want a parachute on the back. There we go. I want that to be modified to come up, because that looks nice. I need the new straight wings, because they're the best ones we've got. Now, instead of the small jet engine, I can put these. So, yeah, it's going to be an ever so slight increase in thrust. We were at 75 thrust. We're now going up to 80 thrust. So it's not a massive difference. So we'll just have to see how it actually plays. Probably going to be less drag because, or it might actually be more drag. We'll just have to see. We needed the better landing gears. That does not have enough ground clearance, so these are getting strapped to there. It's going to be real awkward actually, because oh god. Oh god. That don't look right. And that's still overbalancing. Okay, so we can't have a landing gear there. Can I turn these around? There we go. Technically that is the mass, centre of mass in front of where the landing gears are, so... Oh god. This is not gonna fly. Oh, this is not gonna fly. Yeah, I don't know, they were looking like a much bigger upgrade, but now that I'm actually looking at it, they're huge. More expensive. Yeah, I build struts for the landing gear. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Better than this. Because it's nice to have that bigger thrust. But is it worth it? Because it's a tiny increase in thrust. I suppose... No, it is more mass for a tiny increase in thrust. I'm not sure this is actually... These engines are actually worth it. I think they're going to create more issues than they're really worth. Yeah, the landing gear will fold straight into the engines. 'Cause science. Yeah. As much as I want big fancy engine, I think just more little engines are better. I don't think 5 extra thrust is worth it for that extra volume, that extra drag. Same fuel consumption. I suppose it will technically be less fuel consumption, because instead of 3 engines we've got 2, so it will be more fuel efficient, by the way that I believe this thing calculates it. Okay. That's fine. That's the point. External fuel tanks are like tiny little pylons, aren't they? Tiny little fuel tank pylons. Oh, the big external fuel tanks are too expensive. Okay, we may revisit the big engines. For now, I think just for the sake of being reasonable, I'm going to put on multiple small engines instead. I can maybe in the future work towards changing that around. For now though, this seems like a much more plain looking thing. Yeah, I suppose it is slashing the fuel consumption. A third is a fair amount of the fuel consumption. Yeah, but it's just the expense of them. I'm not sure we've got enough funds to be able to get the expense working. Right, that can be moved further forward. Right, in terms of fuel, we've got way more fuel than we had. Got a bit more thrust than we had. No idea about the drag. Yeah, the landing gear folds into the fuel tanks. Now that way, if we have a landing gear failure, the fuel tanks are backup skids. Everything's fine. Yeah, so I think we need more money. A little bit more money, and I think this will work nicely. For now though, I am going to extend it. Oh, right. No. I think pushing it to 300 is going to be a bit of a push. Well, maybe. What if I lengthen that? That gets me an extra 10. Extra 6.5 there. Yeah, so I think for the sake of fuel consumption, we will want that other design at some point. The bigger engines at some point. Canards do make everything better, that is true. Alright, grab... No, always grab the wrong thingy. Right, if I extend that out just a little bit, there we go, that is 300. Which we can use to do the big fancy mission if this thing works. I'm not massively convinced this thing is going to work. Where's our centre of gravity? Okay, not bad. Okay. So, more fuel. It's heavier. More fuel consumption. More thrust. Quite a bit more capacity. I'll see what this one's like. I'm not sold on... Oh, I need to paint it, don't I? We can't fly an unpainted plane. That would be criminal. There we go. Much better. Right, so who needed what? Yeah, they wanted a stone. So we can fly over there, see if this thing works and if I can get a stone. Because if we can deliver a stone, that's nearly $1,000 and a bunch of resources all in one big thing. If this thing still works. That's, well, it takes off. Do like that it takes off. The advantage is it doesn't break when I land, which is a small achievement. Right, so they wanted a stone. This is 15, which isn't actually that heavy compared to some things. It's just really bulky. So we should be able to do this last bit. Assuming I make it over this hill. There we go. Never had any doubts. Everything's fine. There we go. Nearly $1,000. Samples. Radioactive material. Chernobyl. Why is the plane smaller than the porta potty? That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know, why have they not invented roads? We don't think this earthquake was of natural origins. You should go to the desert to investigate further. Okay, well, I'm not going there yet. I want to finish everything here first. But good to know we've finished the main quest in this little area. So they want steel. They want ice. They want lumber and logs. Right, I'm going to do the ice one first. And grab the steel. We won't be able to do the food one just yet because I need a faster plane to be able to do that. But that's fine. Right. Up we go. Earthquake you felt was not a natural earthquake. Yeah, I got that much. It was the power plant in the desert exploding. Cool. We're in desperate need of your help. I will send you the exact coordinates of the explosion site. Nice. It was Chernobyl all along. Right, I want ice here. They want 2 ice, so I'm going to pick up 4 ice. Refuel. And then let's go. There we go. Back in the air. Heading towards the next little place. Yes. We're in desperate need of help. Nah. Kinda busy. But the people at the factory, they want ice for their drinks, you see, so your nuclear accident will have to wait. Right. Here, come down here. See if I can do this without breaking too much ice. Fuck! Without breaking too much ice. Break all of the ice. We only need 1 more ice. God damn it. I'm not good at gentle landings, it turns out. Right, they needed steel. T-steel, which I can fit into this plane. Don't know if I can take off with T-steel, but I can fit it in this plane. Up, up. Yes, I did very well. My best landing attempt. Smash into the ground. I definitely do feel there is a lot of weight on board. Yeah, this thing's struggling to actually make this just due to struggling to keep up the speed here. Should make it. Yeah. There we go, there's the steel. 855 coins. That's a nice big chunk. Nice, 30 scrap. More researchy points. Refuel. Right. Okay, so what we've got lumber and ore. So they just needed one ice, so yeah, we'll go there and then we'll do a lumber trip. Right, short little hop over the mountain to the ice factory. See how much ice I can fit in this down plane in the hope that I bring some of it to where it's supposed to go. Oh dear. Right. And gear down. Oh, this is not a good landing. Okay, let's assume I'm going to do better than that when I'm landing for real. Right, I'm going to take 5 ice. In the hopes that I land with some amount of ice still intact. Right. So throttle down, not too much. Try and come in. One ice broke. That's fine. Loads of money. There we go. Scrap for the effort. Nice. So what kind of missions are we left with? So they still need the food. I'm going to have to design a special plane for that. They just need the lumber. That's not too bad. I'm going to go for that lumber trip, so I'm just going to reset to base because it's a little bit closer to where the lumber is. Then, yeah, 3 lumber, 2 logs. Because this plane can definitely make it. Pretty much as is. And what I need to do is work out how much cargo capacity I need to fit those fish in and design a plane that is just barely big enough for that to get the speed right. Oh shit. Oh shit. A series of things happened. None of it was my fault. Everything's fine. Planes sometimes enter the water. It's normal. Right, that's 3 lumber, 2 logs. Lumber, 2 logs. I can take the 2 logs, do that trip, then I'll come back for the lumber. Doing 2 logs in a trip is still pretty good. Right. Let's be heading that way. Didn't put the marker on, so I'm doing the quest in slightly wrong order. Down. Wood logs. 300 coins for that. Oh. Got some scrap for the getting the logs there, that's nice. Reset and repair. We'll go back, grab the lumber. And see what we can do about designing a fast plane. So unfortunately they've not developed refrigeration yet, so instead we're going to need super fast planes instead of just using some of the ice that they clearly have to cool the fish that they have. Alright, then 3 lumber, nice and easy. 1, 2, 3. Alright, nice little trip back. Nice big chunk of cash. And then I'll go over to the fishy place just to check how much a fish weighs. Whee! There's lumber, another 300 coins. That gives us a load of money there. Here we go, 15 scrap on top of that. So in terms of missions here, I think that is it, other than the food and crab mission. Yeah. That's right. What we're going to do is we're going to reset. We are going... Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to try what this is like with those big engines. We've got the cash now. I can strip these off. Put on the big engines. Nice big fuel efficient engines. That still gives me plenty of ground clearance. And I tell you what... Got enough money for an extra little sneaky engine. There you go. That's all pretty fancy. I need to move that so it's a little bit more straight. There we go. Then just a little bit extra painting. Perfect. Let's see what this is like, and I am going to put that marker on. I thought I could turn in time. Explore the ice while making this journey. It's not bad, it's got decent thrust on it. Don't think it's going to have sufficient thrust for this mission. Can always give it a go. More importantly, I'm here to check the mass and volume requirements, particularly. Right, so what do I need? I need 2 fish, 3 crabs. So if I'm doing that together, that is 150. 150 volume. If I'm doing it individually, I will need 90 volume, or really individually only 30 volume, but I don't want to be making that many trips. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, Flora. Right, I'm not thinking this is going to work. I just kind of feel like trying for the sake of it. It's not looking likely. Yeah, the Learjet design had better speed than this. Oh, fish expired. Never mind. Right, that's fine. We can go back to the base and we can put something a little bit better together. For one, we've got a load of research here. All sorts of things we can do. delta wing, small jet wing, big tail wings, a proper fuel tank. Okay, so that's less weight. Yeah, so that's a better weight to volume ratio. And in terms of this, let's go for a nice... Yeah, this seems to be this kind of faster, lower drag cockpit line. Let's grab a delta wing if we're going for something speedy. I also want to get the small jet wing just while I'm unlocking stuff. I guess I could go for this jet engine if we want something really speedy. It's insanely fuel inefficient. But hell, we'll have a look at it. Okay. Alright, so edit plane. I'm going to save this design because this design's pretty good. This is my chunky. Yeah, because we've got the chunky and the Learjetish. Yeah, stop loading. Fine. Load the chunky then. So... Right, I want to scrap this. Yeah, so got all sorts of lovely cockpits now. Nice random zero cockpit. Nice other little fighter cockpit. There we go. A pseudo Concorde. See how big? That is actually a lot bigger than I thought it, but it's a proper Concorde nose. It's not too bad, really. It's not actually that much more weight than the little glider nose. So yeah, maybe just go for an absolute speed thing. So what did I need? I needed 150. Right, so just making this look all nice and pretty. Need a little bit more length. There we go. That is 150. So that's what we need to do the entire trip in one. Whack on the delta wings. They're not quite as delta-y as I would like, but let's get some delta wings. Cut down on drag, just go for a twin fin design. Right, important things. We're going to need a landing gear. Should be able to get away with the smaller ones. Actually, they weigh the same as the big ones. So yeah, let's just go for those then. These I'm going to turn around and shift forward a wee bit. That's all looking reasonable so far. Okay, how expensive are the stupid engines that I bought? Okay, not too bad. Only 3,500. It's not that much more than the big jet engines. I'm definitely going to need fuel. If I do center line, that should give us something with pretty minimal drag. Fuel tanks are the big source of drag. Oh, we do want a brake parachute, don't we? Because we want to be able to come to a stop as quickly as possible. In which case I'm going to modify this a wee bit. There we go. That is now still 150. Come on, let's click on. There we go. Yeah. Can you put a cone in front of the tanks? I don't think I've got a cone piece is the problem. I can put a cockpit in front of the tanks. Could put an engine in front of the tanks. There doesn't seem to be any kind of aerodynamic pieces, unfortunately. And there is the proper other fuel tank that we need a little bit more scrap to get, that I think has the big advantage of being a lot more streamlined. Oh, I'll see how this goes. Don't know if we're going to have enough fuel, because this thing is going to be a fuel-hungry monster. Let's just see if we can make it, yeah, to the fishing port. Whee! I have questionable control authority. Things happened. Okay, I can deal with that. I think I know the problem. Problem is, that needs to act as the ailerons. These need to act as canards. And then I put in a proper tail. And then these are going to get turned around so they're not quite so far back. And I'm also going to shift them around a wee bit. There we go. Move them forward a little bit. Right. In theory? Question mark. And the other big problem is I forgot to paint it. That's why it crashed. Right. Canard time. Could shove the tanks into the fuselage. I don't know how gamey that is, 'cause putting parts inside of other parts. I think the idea is the volume that I have is already taken up with other things. They're supposed to be external. God, this thing's not happy about anything. No, stop. Stop plane. Right, I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to taxi. Or I'm just going to reverse. Reversing also works. Luckily that boat is not a collidable object. Right. Just get us set up, get us straightened out. Yeah, the flight surfaces are just for decoration. It's Jesus, this thing is hard to control. It's the all about that paint. Okay, right. I'm ready. Two fish, 3 crab. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Shite. Lost a second there. I forgot to refuel. Trying to find a place to land. Yeah. Who needs fuel? The Gigabyte. I delivered the crab too, right? I had crab in there. Please say it. Consider the crab. Yes, they did consider the crab. This thing is insane. Oh god, even more food. Right, fine. Well, we've got the Gigabyte. What do you want? 5 crab. Should be fine. 2 fruit. Possibly fine. I'm going to go back to base. I'm going to see if... Fuel tank. Yeah, we've got enough for the aerodynamic fuel tanks. I quite like... Oh, there's actually proper canards there. I'll have to look into that. I also want the better delta wing at some point. But there we go. There's a better fuel tank. So yeah, it's less fuel capacity, but half the weight, so better weight to fuel capacity, and it looks a lot more aerodynamic. Right, so what did I have? I had 12 fuel coming from that before, so I need 4 of these to match the fuel consumption. Which I can afford. That's going to be a bit awkward. Right, no, you delete. You, why aren't you married? There we go. Yeah, those are nice, really low drag. So yeah, looking at that, we've got drag on the weird canard things. Tiny bit of drag coming from these, but not much at all. Line them up a little bit better so they look all pretty. And then we can paint them. There we go. There is our lovely design. Right, so they wanted crabs. Let's see if we can start by delivering crabs. Okay, this thing controls a bit better as long as you're not flying at insane speeds. It's actually alright at kind of moderate speeds. Bonk. Everything's fine. I'm not carrying glass, so it doesn't matter if I occasionally crash into the ground. Right, 5 crab. Need to actually be at the airport to pick up the crab. So yeah, we can fit 5 crab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just floor it. I think I managed to refuel that time, so that is an improvement. Alright. Oh crap. This thing doesn't slow down as well as the older version did. Okay, so I just need to give myself a bit more time on the approach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flora. Here comes up, and off I go. Right, slow down here. Here. Slow down, slow down. Please stop in the area. Ah ha ha! I definitely killed those crabs, yes. So they now want fruit, which is fine. I'm going to make a slight modification to this thing. That wasn't the modification I was wanting to make. No. You. It's very easy to misclick, unfortunately. That's still fine drag-wise. Yeah, how do I... there's the end, but I want it to a point. Right, there we go. That's 150 again. Move that back. That's probably fine. That way I just get more braking power because this thing doesn't like to stop moving. Right, now I just need fruit from the farm, and then I need to make a high-speed delivery from here to here. That'll be fine, won't it? On a plane that the mass is wrong. Oh, that's fine. We've got giant fuel tanks. What are giant fuel tanks for? Other than messing with the centre of mass. There we go. Centre of mass a little bit further forward. Yeah, thinking about this, I want these to be closer. But then that's going to act really drunk when the air brakes come out. So I'm going to want 2 air brakes, but I want them back here. There we go. And just make it look a little bit better, I'm going to put them in. Is there an undo? There is an undo. I love any kind of design game that has an undo. Right, I'm going to move this back, move that there. I just want 2 of these instead of 1 of these. Drag's still fine because it's in the little sheltered area. If we get enough money to put in another pair of fuel tanks, how much would that be? So we need another grand. And the name of this was the Gigan. Yeah, so if we get another grand, we can... Oh yeah, it just kind of points up. I hadn't actually noticed that while designing it. It just points up on the runway for even better rocket-assisted takeoff. Perfect. Right. Let's see if I can make the journey with my fuel capacity. Yeah, I thankfully spotted the random extra drag chutes. Oh, that was a mistake. That was the wrong button. Oh, Jesus. I don't think 2 drag chutes are going to cut it. Good news is I definitely have the fuel requirement. And I should have the speed. Especially if I'm a little bit more aggressive with my landing. Everything's fine. Alright, so I think I've got the fuel. I think I've got the speed. How much fruit did they want? 2 fruit. Fine. 1, 2, floor it. Right, we just need to go 16 kilometers in 70 seconds. And not bin it on landing. Which, that one might be asking a bit much. Right. Yeah, okay. Speed-wise we're fine. Right, low landing gear. Let's... There we go. Ah, see, there's no problem at all. 660 coins. Ding. Another 30 scrap. Not bad at all. And that is this island wrapped up then. It's all of those missions. Now we have to fly over to the explosion site in the desert. I think this plane's going to do a pretty good job at flying over to the explosion site in the desert. I do want to modify it a little bit. Oh, let's check what research we can get actually. So yeah, that's an extra 40. I really want the actual proper canards. May have been better things we could have spent it on, but proper canards. Always nice. Love that the rocket engine isn't actually that much less fuel efficient than the things I've got attached to this. Yeah, that's looking good. Yeah, there is a whole electricity engine, but I've not got the electric engine yet, so leave that for now. Right, I'm gonna rip off these, put down proper canards on the nose. Otherwise we don't quite have the cash to put in another bank of fuel, which is a bit of a pity. Would like to get another one. Guess for now I can do a kind of off-center one. Or I can just put smaller ones hidden behind them, that might work better. How much drag? Yeah, it's a fair amount of drag, but not actually too bad, because it's kind of hidden by the existing fuel tank. Yeah, well, that just gives us a little bit extra legs. I'd like to swap those out for more of these low drag fuel tanks. We need a little bit more cash. This is still the Gigan. Alright. Let's... Oh, I didn't paint the canards, and as we all know, if we don't paint the canards, we're going to die a horribly flamey death. Right. Okay. So we're off to the explosion site. Take off, head northwest. Hope this thing has enough fuel. Let's see if we can set a speed record along the way. This thing definitely has enough fuel. Almost there already. Yeah, this thing's this thing's reminding me of the fish bed, which makes sense with the delta wings. There's a very narrow range in which it has a controllable airspeed. Oh, landing gear. Come on, let's turn around. Turn around. Right. Let's go tag in here so we know that this is our little spawn point. There we go. Gonna reset the plane. Refuel. And then we'll see if we can push through to the explosion site. Hello, other little airfield. Oh, flew right by some scrap there. Never mind. Well, there's fire. Go. Hello, giant explosion. Hello, giant open nuclear reactor. Well, cooling tower, but that seems to be a bit more of a problem over there. We need your immediate help. Well, we came here as slowly as we could. Deliver medicine. We also want water to put out fires. Okay. Oh, so I was thinking that was going to ask me to get the medicine from all the way back at the hospital. I think it's asking me to get, yeah, syringes from here, so we're not all the way across the map. Got a mine, got a water treatment plant, various bits and bobs. So, ooh, 50 water, so I think it's challenges of large cargo capacities again. For now though, I think that is where we're going to leave it for this particular little stream. That has been a huge amount of fun. We've completed another little continent on this. And we have a very interesting jet. Probably going to go back to one of the other designs. I think they're a little bit more generally feasible and workable and controllable. This is a nice little speedy thing. We're definitely going to keep this around as a save jet for when we need to do timed missions, because this is working very well. And if we get some more cash, we can always just upgrade it by sticking some more of those insane Concorde jets to it. So yeah, I definitely want to be coming back to this, so plan right now is next week I'll be back on this and we can tackle the desert little campaign here and try and deal with the giant nuclear reactor that is happily burning away, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll deal with that. Otherwise, normal schedule next week, and so hopefully it'll be something there that you all like. And otherwise, remember until next time to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.